Hey, hello everybody. Yes, sound, and we have also sound here, so it comes in double. On the right side my laptop is again, so I don't need to. Of course I could also check here on the stream. Yeah, we have Punch-2 visual. I think most things are very good visual. Maybe Punch could be a bit lower, a bit closer to this one. Yeah, we are very far now. It's you hear one of the new beats, and it's using the audition sequencer. That's an additional new mode we will have in the new version of Punch-2. The other stuff, which is hopefully next week we can release this, is that we have some new samples, hopefully also a bit more new grooves, and which I'm currently working on. And this is one of the new ones which I'm working on. And you see here the sequencer. When I hit the audition, I can also hit it here, this button here, but I hit also G3 sharp, and then you see it starts doing the sequences. Yeah, and you see there's a lot of things you can do. You have sequence 1 only, but you can have an order of even until sequence 6, so that it plays, for instance, in sequence 3, 2, after it finished sequence 1, that it plays again 8 up to 12. So let me play this. Or maybe I make this one then shorter, so make this one shorter, 1 to 8. So then you see that it jumps over to sequence 2. 8 steps. Step 7, step 8, and now it starts again at 8 and then goes from 8 to 12. You see, sequence 2. Until 12, and then now it starts again at 1. Isn't that cool? So you can do a whole long sequence build up, and yeah, you also could say a host start. Now I start on this one, but if you go to bar 7 here, I could say, I don't know what is playing in the background, host start, and then I press play. And as you can see, it's totally out of order, so I need to see, let me see, I don't know what I have active here. Let's go to bar 17, maybe that's a bit better. Bar 17, I have no idea what plays there, so let's hit host start and then again. Oh, a total mess here, sorry guys. It's I had not had time to do everything in the right order here, so it's pretty a mess. Let's see which one is playing there. I don't know. It's totally out of sync, and I'm pretty sure it's because of the start point. Let me see, should be 22. So maybe then it's better. So start here 22, or maybe 21, bar 21. Maybe then things are in sync then. Okay, let's see. And maybe otherwise, maybe it's a little bug. But if you have host start, then it starts the sequence when the host starts. Doesn't sound good to me, so we need to fix that. I need to check that with John. But that's also the alternative way, so that you can use it on host start. Of course, now by using this works currently better. Hello everybody, people joining now in the chat room. Yeah, what you also can hear is that we have loop play, and loop play is this note here, LP, loop play. And let's see, if we go here, we can see that starts from slice 1 up to slice pad number 6. You see slice 1 is muted because if I go to the slice, the first step essentially has no sound. So I did simply mute it. So this is one of the new sample sounds we have. These are the loops, and you find them in the slice folder. So if you go up here, we have in the slice type, the pad type is slice, and then we have here a well-known, which are the known, very often used drum loops. Then we have some rec files from the tonal axis. Jamal has some loops, and here in this next week, hopefully you will find here the tabla. And tabla, you see, has tabla A, which is in the tuning A, and tabla C, which has tuning C. So these are new loops, and in this preset kit, I use this. And what I also did is, let me see where you find this. Okay, because if I go here to the pattern page, you see that we have all kind of patterns. Let's see. And this one is group 3. And this one plays an additional pad. So let's see which one that is. Oh, that's slice. So even if you have the loop play, so this is the loop playing, you still can have in the groove, so go to the pattern page, so the loop play plays the loop play, but you still can use in one of the grooves and trigger one of the slices. And okay, it's the wrong one, it's in groove 4, sorry, groove 4. Or not, where is it? Oh no, sorry guys, it's break 4. Here's pad 6 slice. So with that, you also can have a bit of more notes in between. And if you see here in the sequence, break 4 is used here on step 5. So let's play this again. So now it doesn't play, groove doesn't play, and now it comes in. Little notes in between for making a kind of break. Well, and you see these sequenced sounds, the sequence order is very nice to have different variations in the whole thing. Okay, checking in the chat room, and you guys, if you have any questions, just let me know. Maybe you have a suggestion of what we could do. And so I'm talking now about Punch-2 and the new version, which we will have released hopefully very soon, hopefully next week. So, and the biggest change is then, of course, this audition sequencer mode. Another thing I was working on today, so if I go here and I go to the bank manager, there's a little trick. Here they have the kit presets, all the drum kits. There's a trick here, order by date, and then I can see that these two are the last ones I did, and this one is also, I was working on this one today, TV Pop 2, and I use one of a new slice, so we'll go back here to the main page. Also here the pattern is used, and this one is essentially, when I go here, I'll go to the main page, then I can see what is playing. Okay, these are the slices, and I see it's only 3 pads, and I go to one of the pads, and you see it's this one. And I made it shorter, so I see combined slices. So if you combine this, all the slices changes the decay. Uses the grains, so if I put off the grains, So this is essentially a, maybe you saw this picture on Facebook or on Instagram, where I showed this little gong, and I hit a few times and made some rhythm things with it. And of course I changed here the grain. So yeah, it's a very interesting sound. So here, by the way, if you use the right mouse, you can audition it. So if I go over here, so if I go up, you also can go to the tablas, tabla phrase. And maybe it's an idea to have a column here where is a little note where you then can click on it, so you don't have to use the right mouse for auditioning. So each time things are improving in Punch-2 to make it even more user-friendly. And another thing what I did is change a bit the FX page. Here you have the 4FX, and that's of course the main thing you added. But if you can adjust then, for instance, some of the pads and change the FX sense, and you can see here that this one is selected now, but when I play the grooves, you see that all the other ones pop up. So if you play here one, and you can right away see, hey, this is pad number 3, and then you can change. Let's see if there's no only FX4. Add some reverb. So this is also changing now in the next update for the FX page. So we keep on improving little details. What we also will have in the future is that you can colorize the pads, that you can say bass drum should be more reddish, and I'm personally not a fan of it, because if you work very long, it can be very tiring on the eyes. But we have some requests of people who like to have some colors in the pads, and of course we will arrange that. The KR55 kit, essentially, I think we did some samples on board we have already. Oh, 1 second. I'm going here. Somebody has a question. Let me see if I can see this question in the chat room. I have a question. I want no loops. Is it possible? Not sure if I understand your question. You can have all these single notes in the first 2 octaves. All the single nouns are under the pads, so you don't have to use the built-in sequencer. I mean, you can leave it alone. It's just this area where you trigger it, but you also can drum yourself. So it's up to you. So you don't. Yeah, well, essentially these are kits with no loops. Sorry, I don't still understand the question. Yeah, these are single notes. So you always have the freedom for the single notes. So even with the slice, you can have them here single. So the sequence is really an additional thing, and most of all, it gives an impression of what sounds to expect. So if I go here to the next preset, let me see, water conga. Yeah, it splices on the keyboard. So the slice, you understand, the loop is spliced on the keyboard. Yeah, definitely. That's the cool thing about it. And I have in the Punch-2 playlist, there's a video about using how to use the slice thing and what is the best thing to do. So here, this for instance is, yeah, you see, you can trigger here the audition, but all the sounds are here. That's nice. So the slice, if we go, for instance, there is a default setting for slice in the default preset. Here it is. And in the default bank, you also can find example slice video 113. So this is an example. These are slices, you see, pad 16. The tempo should be 113. So I go up here with the sequencer. Now you see slice is here in this range. It starts at number 19. I go edit, and here I can see slice 1. It's there. There it's a bit darker. Slice 2 is this one. Now it's a bit darker. Slice 3 is this one. Slice 4 is this one. So if you have a loop, you can slice it. You can audition a loop, so preview sample, then you hear what it is. And once you say, okay, this is okay, you map the slice to the patch you like to have. And yeah, definitely. So okay, so you understand now how it works. So still, I can play them separate. Yeah. So that's cool about this. You can loop and place it on the single sounds. So if you would have go here, for instance, in this in the introduction bank, you have, let me see, one preset which uses the Amen loop. Here, this one. And you see 100, and that's about the tempo. So we go down to 100. So the loop is essentially, if I go to patterns, the loop is essentially this one. And you see down here, you see down in the section, you see that it plays from 17 up to 24. So if I go here to the pads 17, so click here, also you can do it here. You see pad 17. And that's the cool thing about Punch-2. If you load in a sample, so this is the original one, listen, so preview. And then you see slice number 3, that's this one, here this one, I throw into the reverb. So, let's see. So you can make it also dry, make it shorter. Change the pitch. I could say, go on with the snare. So yeah, some cool features from that perspective. Okay, so I think it's a bit clear now, and yeah, as again, check this video in the playlist of Punch-2 where I explain how you can use these slides in the best way. Sometimes I throw in a slice in a current loop, and sometimes I really start from start. It depends. So it's so if you have a current drum kit, you need to see, okay, where are some pads which I don't use in this kit, where I could try out the samples. So we have then also working also currently. So if I go here to the pad 1, if you go here to the sample, then this pad is a sample. You can load in your own samples. But if you look here, we have a big range of samples we added for you already. High quality. So if you would go here to cymbals, there's a new one which is called gong. And here we have some gong samples, the big one, but also the small one. And I already created some presets. So this, you see, these are the samples, but here we have the sample pad. Type sample has its own folder, which its own presets. So already you see here now, you will see a new version tabla A. Then you have some tabla sounds. Or you go here to the next folder, tabla in the tuning C. Or you go to this folder with, let me see where it is. It's not cymbals, but gongs. And then you have gongs. FX. Left, right. It's a big gong. A bit reverb, it's always nice. And you see it even works with loop. The loop is, the original sample is looped at the end to make it very long. So I can even increase it here. So, a second. Stereo. Small gong. Oh, why is it not working? I'm not sure. Oh, this one doesn't play. I need to fix this one. So yeah, you see all kind of subfolders, vocal things. Okay. So yeah, many the drum presets. I think over the drum pad presets. So presets for the bass drum pad, presets for the snare pad, for these in total over 2,500 presets are already there. So if you say, okay, I take a sample pad and you look for a percussion sound, yeah, just check here, and then you maybe find a go-go bell, a bongo. So you don't have to, the samples are already installed, so you don't have to pick the sample and edit the sound with all the features here. So many presets on board. Same if you go to sample, you have models, and then of course we have the analog classic. So should be also, I think this one is the KR55. This is CR78, so the Phil Collins sound. So yeah, plenty sounds on board. So if you go to if you want to have different ones, so snares which Jamal made, they are Okay, I'm checking now the chat room. Oh, time signature. Yeah, you can change it. It's if you want to have a so if you go to the pattern, you see. Let me see. So now you see 16 steps, but if I want to go down with these steps, that's 12 or let's say 6. Well, let's make it 12. So groove 1 is 12, groove 2 is 12 step. Then I have a 3/4 beat, I think. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Of course, I need to have the so if you change the length of the sequence, then you make it a 3/4 beat or anything, even 11 steps. So by changing the amount of steps in each of the grooves, you can adjust the time signature. You can double speed it. So groove 2, you can also double speed it. So this is the added groove 2. You see, this is this one. It also pops up here. And these are all the parameters for this groove. And so you can say double tempo. So even can combine different types of time signature mix in each other. So that's even possible. Okay. Now it's not possible to import sound font. It is. I understand what it is. Sound font. Now we have WAV files and AEFF. We don't have other formats. If you could convert it to WAV yourself, then of course you can load it in as a sample. So let me go back maybe to show in terms of samples, because I need to make a video about it. So when I go to default preset, you have a default slice, and maybe I should make a default sample. So if you have default, it's an empty preset, and I have a sample here. So here's a sample. There are several ways where you can work with your own samples. What I suggest, if you have multiple samples, is simply to use the Finder or the Explorer, the browser in your computer, to copy over samples. If you go here to Rob Papen My Documents, you can see here we have all kind of folders, Punch-2. Here's some backups of mine, and in this folder you will find a samples. And in this folder are all these samples. So also here you could create a folder. So we did for you already to user. And in this user, you already can throw your own samples. And the next time when you start up Punch-2, they will appear. And that's maybe a bit more handy. You see these are empty because here you need to put in your own toms. Because if you do drag and drop, then it always lands in the main root, so in the Punch-2 samples folder. So if I pick here this your sample and I drop this here on this pad, it changes to sample pad, and you see here is the sample. Only then all the samples are inside this root, and that's maybe not so handy. So in terms of samples, so you see there it appears on your Mac computer. This is, by the way, not documents, but it's applications. Rob Papen Punch-2 samples. So if I go here to the edit page, you can see here is this sample. But if you would make in the user here your own setup, then simply you could go just like I did now with, for instance, the bass drum. I go here, I pick sample A, play mode sample A for editing, and simply click here for a bass drum. And then you save the whole kit, so that's a bit easier to work with. About kicks, yeah, we have Punch bass drum. If you have Punch-2, you still get also Punch bass drum. So Punch bass drum is part of the deal. Punch bass drum allows you to stack up to 6 bass drums. I think Punch-2 you can even stack up to 24 if you want. So if you want to start from scratch, you also could do it with Punch-2. On the other hand, we have some very nice sounds, and that's of course always the case, that we also always add some nice presets. Add track. Let me see if I can add Punch bass drum. Give me a second. Yes. So Punch bass drum, you see that's the older one. Up to 6 bass drums can be used, but the cool thing is here we have some very nice range of presets. So hip hop tuned. So Punch bass drum is a plugin of its own. We even have a raw kick, which has a focus on distorted sounds. Punch bass drum, of course, it looks like the original one. It's still its own valid because so many cool presets, and you can play over the whole keyboard your tuned bass. Okay, so you see a lot of. I mean, it's a very powerful machine, especially if you like tuned kicks, and that's the different stuff. So even fantasy stuff is here. These special one tunes with. Yeah, some cool stuff. So if you buy Punch-2, you also get Punch bass drum in the same deal. So and of course Punch bass drum is also part of the Explorer bundle. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, what is ahead? Add track. Let me see, because it seems to be I installed Reason 11. It seems to be that you can somewhere can have other Reason 11. Let me see. Okay, I'm back here. It's the first time, and then you can, yeah, because we did release bit, double click, I guess. There it is. I think our products in general are good for any sound style, and I mean, with Punch, somebody's asking, is Punch good for hip hop and trap? Yeah, definitely. Especially if you're looking for new sounds and so from that point, I mean, Punch-2 has, of course, a lot of cool presets and sounds which are suitable for hip hop, R&B. And the fun part is with Punch-2, you have a lot of control. I mean, if you go to the, so let's see here, if I open Punch-2 again. Okay. So here it is. If you go to the hip hop R&B bank, and of course you need to go down in tempo for this, and let's go to, and if you like the kick, it's not a sample, you can change it. You can say, okay, make it tuned. So you see up here is your parameter readout. And of course you need to know that you have then this end one. You need to, maybe it's a good point to put here and then tune below it so that you know that you have to change this one for tuning it. Now it's G1, not G1, and I can make it longer. I can add a bit of distortion on the bass drum only, because each pad has its own distortion. And the first pad is the bass drum, and we did it the case that with Punch-2, if you play up here, you also can play tuned. So yeah, many options you have. It's not, you can use a sample of course, but it's mainly a drum synthesizer, so you have a lot of control. And I need to write down because I see something which is something. So once tuned is selected, we should change this here, that people find, okay, you put in tune, but where you can tune it? Well, then you have here this one, and we put that and. So I write this down because these are little things which we can improve in our Punch-2. And of course it's based on the original Punch, and in the original Punch there was no tuned bass drum, but now it is added. And so yeah, there's a lot of freedom. You have the claps. Here they are, clap. Also here you can change them, make them longer. Or shorter. So you can use samples and synthesis. That's really the power. You can trigger the kick. Yeah, play it here or play it up here. So pad 1 is also in the upper range. So this we did on purpose. So yeah, you see the hip hop R&B back has some very cool sound. And you also can all the disco. Nice snare. Yeah, so demo version of Punch-2 has only the introduction bang, and the full version has of course far more drum kits, fresh kicked. And the addition is very nice to hear what the sounds are inside. Nice. This one uses shakers, slice. You see here the combination of the built-in sequencers pattern. And if I would go here to addition mode, then I first need to do sequencer clear. And then I can build up the groove here using so here you see you build it up. Yeah, I could see if I could, this one is the second one, second groove. Let's see if I can make that one faster. Double speed. Because I need to have it then active. This that groove too. I'm not sure if this fully trap. Is that better? So here I have the groove. Groove 3 is nothing. Okay. I could say, okay, because what I could do, groove 2 is this one and groove 3 is nothing. What I could do is now go command and see if I can copy pattern. Yes, if I go now here to groove 3, I never did this before, but it should work. And then paste pattern. Yeah, you see it? And now I have essentially the same, but here I could change it. And I could make then a more variation by using groove 2, groove 3, groove 2, groove 3. So you get this. So I'm not sure if this trap-like, but I could save this one. Maybe a good one to save this one. Save preset add. Hip hop Sun 1, this would be, and then we make it 91 beats per minute. I copy hip hop trap. I'm not sure if trap has to do with hip hop, but okay, let's call it only trap 01. Okay, so now it's saved. So what I use now is groove 2 and groove 3 to make these variations here, and I need to check if other things are active here. Break 1 doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. Of course, you have the freedom to use that. So break 4. I can use that one. Track 1. I think it's then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's this one. Let's see if it. And even because make, yeah, so you see this one now, and this is break 4, and let's see if I would add break 4 and maybe just once here, and let's see how things go. And here it comes. So you can build up the whole song this way. And if you say, okay, I want to hear 4 until 8, you simply do here 4 until 8, and you added it. So you can check this part. If you think, okay, now I should do this, and then you go back again, starting at 1, and you see how it builds up. It's often 120 beats per minute. Oh, it is 70, but it's mostly double. 70. So maybe it's 70 instead of 140. Could that be? So 140. I think that's. Let's make it 70. Let's see how things go. Is that a bit trap? It's a bit silly sound. Okay, I save this one, and then what I can do, of course, is rename it. Rename preset. I need to check a bit of the trap things on internet. There are so many music sounds. Sometimes it's a bit hard to follow. And so this could be okay. Oh, that's really silly. This. Oh, that one is nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's go this on 5. Yeah, this could be cool. I just save it, and I will put this one in the. Nice shuffle. Okay. Yeah, in tune mode, it depends on the synthesis. The kick here, I'm not sure this. I think. Oh, here's the kick. Let me see. Go main. And this one is not tuned, so I could go here to tuned. And I need to see to drop to. That's the drop. And let me see where the end tone is. That's the bass. So here it's B1. You see bass. We need to change that. So that once you have tuned up here, that here bass changes to tuned, because otherwise people are looking for where can I tune it, or it should pop up here as an extra field. That's also an option. So it's good that I do the live stream. Then I get also some new ideas. Because yeah, we convert this model from Punch-1 and added the tuned, but in practice, of course, now pops up. Then it would be handy that maybe here a screen pops up where you see the notes, and that would be connected to this bass. So now a bass goes to B1, and it could be G. So. Okay, the height should be faster. Well, I can make it even faster if I go to patterns. Maybe 4 times. Let's see. Yeah, it's now 4 times the speed. Oh, so that one. Well, it's also nice to have the other one twice the speed. So groove 2 is higher and groove 3 is also higher, but groove 2 is 4 times speed and groove 3 is 2 times speed. And now they toggle between. Yeah, nice, isn't it? I save it again. So next week, hopefully this one is good. So yeah, I see Goro Sagat in the chat room. Is this a bit more what you like to see in Punch-2? So the options you have are enormous. I mean, there's hardly any limited. You only need time to spend. You need to invest in time to learn this machine. And I think the thing what is very cool about Punch-2, it sounds so fresh. It's not dated. It's a lot of these samples are high quality. It's not sample from a sample from a sample. It's synthesis combined. So the if you go to the hi-hats, I didn't check it out, but most likely the hi-hats, yeah, here they are, the hi-hats. It's a model. It's simply a synthesizer model. So, of course, you also could pick a what is of course very often used is a 808. So I could also say make this one a. Okay, we go to models, to classic drum models, and I pick, let's see, classic 1. Or classic. Open hi-hat. Okay, also classic drum machines, which is then the 808. Classic open, I think this one. I can pan it. And you see this one here is for all pads the same. So here you can also select the pad, go pad 7, 8, 9, and the right side is where the velocity of the pad is controlled, the volume, but also how it's sent to the FX. So this is the advanced page, and of course, yeah, this is the main page. Yeah, it's Vecto Mons. Yeah, oh yeah, guys, we are already in over an hour about Punch-2. Yeah, not really. Vecto is Vecto Mons, and I would if I would have time today, I would create some presets on the flow and tell about Vecto. But I think we have to do this next week when we have another live stream. Okay, let's see, where is Vecto? I should open it. Okay. So the last release we did was for Reason. We okay, so this is the small version. Let's go to the big screen version. Screen size. Okay. That's a bit nicer on this computer. And you see here we have BIT for rec extension. So the advantage of the rec extension is that in Reason you have the tab here, and then you have the back panel where you can connect, just like a modular synthesizer, CV in. You can go into the filter gates of the filter and the envelopes. So this what makes the rec extension very different compared to the standard VST. So it's really a rack synthesizer. So it's a very unique format, and we released yesterday BIT as rack extension for the Reason users. And you can see you also can load it inside. So Reason as a rack plugin inside your other host. In this case, it's Cubase. Okay, so I need to reselect Vecto. And here it is. And of course, talking about VST, no, snares, you can do everything inside Punch-2 in terms of snares or claps, stacking them. There's a lot of freedom. And the advantage is, of course, if you work with one module, you know how it works, and you will find your way inside of it instead of studying again another drum plugin. Blue Neon. Yeah, Blue 3, that's something we hope to have maybe at the end of this year. Most likely early 21. It will be a lot of work. And ahead of that, we start doing Blade 2. Haha. So Blade 2, first we release Quad as a VST for the Explorer 6 bundle. Just like we did this Vecto, which was originally a rec extension, and we made it also now as a VST. Therefore, it looks a lot different compared to our other synthesizers, but it has some very nice sounds. One of my favorite sounds is this. Okay, let's see where it is in this ambient bank. The strings. I mean, the audio quality you get today in with virtual synthesizers is really amazing. It's I mean, hardware is its own story, but in terms of future things and soundscapes, I mean, software does it all, to my personal impression. So yeah, Blue 3, that will be a big project, but yeah, that's planned. And Blade 2, yeah, Blade is of course a synthesizer, which is pretty hard to control. So again, the small size. I need to pick the big screen version. Big screen, okay. But we have some cool ideas. I mean, Blade from the base is more a, how can you say that? More a trial and error. You run into fantastic sounds, or sometimes it's totally zero, because yeah, there is you change the harmonics of the waveforms, and still it has some very nice different sounds. It was at that time the first synthesizer which was the XY pad from us, which became really a trademark for our instruments. This is one of my favorite sounds, Winter Ants. I mean, that's the cool. I think the very cool thing about our brand is that we really look for the different synthesis. Each synthesizer has its own focus and its own synthesis and things it can do. Is there a dark skin for Vecto? No, we don't have a dark skin. Sometimes we see indeed that there are custom skins, but we never did that because most synthesizers do have too many pages. Now with Vecto it would be a bit easier because essentially it's one page and the manager page. We did not have yet very much requests for how you say that, for dark skins. Of course, if we get a lot of requests, we should do this, but currently there are not that many requests for this. Okay, I'm writing down. Okay, yeah, it's additive. Additive is a very complex synthesis to edit, so we had the approach that the XY should change the harmonics, but we have some cool ideas to have some more features in Blade 2. So after we released Quad, this other synthesizer, which was originally a rack extension, oh, it's a bit too bright, sunglasses for Vecto. I didn't notice that for some people it's a bit too bright. Sometimes we get complaints people find it too dark. So with Predator 2, some people found it too dark. So it's it's always personal, of course, from that perspective. Okay, guys, yeah, we had another hour, and I hope you enjoyed it again. You can watch it back in the playlist again. I will place it in the playlist. Hopefully next week we dive into Vecto. I will show you a few nice tricks you can do inside Vecto. And of course, hopefully then we have the news that Punch-2 is released with this new sequenced play feature with NKS support for machine and complete control. And yeah, if you have a question or maybe you think, okay, next week, could you show this or that, how to do this or that, always can look into that. So thank you for watching and keep well, guys.